Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, of course, we're going to be talking about those Cleveland Browns. And yes, this team has a championship defense. So before we start today's video, I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think of these Cleveland Browns? And do you guys agree with me? This team should be considered championship contenders, regardless of the quarterback situation. Because I believe in December, you know what wins? Defense and running the football. This team is arguably the #1 defense in the league. Still without Nick Chubb, they're the 3rd best rush yard offense in the league, 14th best points per game, and they allow the 5th least amount of points per game, with scoring 23 points a game and only allowing 18 a game. God damn, they know how to win it nasty, but they also know how to win it clean. And that's the thing. They got Jerome Ford, Amari Cooper, and boys putting up stats even without Deshaun Watson. Dorian Thompson Robinson was able to come in and get the job done. But that's not what this video is about. Let's just talk about it. So Dorian Thompson Robinson, DTR. I'm just gonna call him DTR because I have Dorian Thompson Robinson to like a mouthful. So he was out there, okay, and he led this team. So in his second NFL start, DTR completed 4 straight passes on a clutch drive to set up Dustin Hopkins with a 34-yard to win the game 13-10. And DTR had to start because they lost Deshaun Watson to a shoulder injury. And dude, the crowd was chanting allegedly DTR. You could hear it through the TV. The 5th round pick out of UCLA completed 4 passes for 39 yards, moved his way up the Steelers' territory and got his special teams in territory for Dustin Hopkins to hit that field goal that went through the uprights. And look, he wasn't great. 24 of 43, 165 yards with a pick. He had a few passes drop, but the thing was DTR had only 1 turnover after throwing 3 picks on his first start October 1st. So the Browns have now beaten the Ravens and Steelers in consecutive weeks for the first time in 15 tries. DTR's performance, though not the best, got Cleveland through the game. And this shows that Cleveland are contenders, okay? And this is amazing to see this team. David Njoku, who had a few drops, came out after the game and said DTR was a warrior, especially as a rookie. He got the job done. And the second half turned into a battle of defense and, field possession. This is where we saw that, guys like Greg Newsom's the second and the rest of the team, Myles Garrett setting the tone for the Cleveland's defense, sacking Pickett on the Pittsburgh's first play of the second half and dropping it into the end zone, okay? Like, we thought it was a safety, but it wasn't. Either way, what was amazing is it's just great to see this team. And we got to see Nick Chubb, who took a few steps out the tunnel on crutches. He's there. And allegedly, guys, you should know this. If you're a fan of the Cleveland Browns, the Browns will add a 3rd quarterback in the next few days. There's a strong chance it's going to be veteran quarterback Joe Flacco, who worked out for the team on Friday. The 38-year-old Flacco would give Cleveland an experienced quarterback to back up DTR or serve as a mentor. Flacco went 17-3 in his career against the Browns as a Baltimore Raven, and he helped the New York Jets pull off a stunning win in Cleveland last season. Now, personally, I believe PJ Walker probably should be. I actually think if you're going to bring Joe Flacco in, guys, I think next week you start DTR for another week. And then I think, guys, Joe Flacco should be the starting quarterback for the rest of the season. No offense to PJ Walker or DTR. I mean, I think PJ Walker hasn't been amazing, but he has more experience. Either way, I think Joe Flacco out of the 3. If they're going to bring in Joe Flacco, like we're being told, and they're going to be playing Denver next week, I have DTR start the next game. But Joe Flacco, at this point in his career, guys, I don't know if you guys watched last year. He was decent. Like, Joe Flacco was not a bad quarterback, okay? Joe Flacco was not bad. And last year, I think he threw for 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, had a decent QBR. And he's shown that my mom's actually teaches his kids. So I'm from Maryland, and my mom teaches at a private school, like a private Catholic school. It's called St. Joseph's, and she's taught like half of Joe Flacco's kids. Like, I'm not even kidding. So look, Joe Flacco at this point, how are we good? He's not going to be movable. Well, yeah, like, dude, yes, his passing rating was 75. I mean, it's technically better than whatever the Browns have going on right now. And for me, when I look at this, I think, okay, Joe Flacco, he's going to come in. He threw 58% completion last year. And even if you just look at his last 4 seasons since he's left, I guess every single season he's technically not been the best, but I really do think that he's shown since leaving, Baltimore, he's been about a 60% completion rate as a quarterback. So I feel like there's definitely room for him to go in here and be able to elevate this team more than DTR and the rest of and PJ Walker, and especially with a roster that's filled with the wide receiver talent that this team has. Like, listen to this. He's going to be throwing. This is way better than, Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore were there last year, but in New York, he'll be with Elijah again, but here he'll have Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong just at the running backs at his helm, which is the best running back group he's had since Ray Rice and like Willis McGahee. And then Amari Cooper, David Njoku, Elijah Moore, and Harrison Bryant, just to name a few, are all guys that would like come in and immediately help. And then of course you got this amazing defense. Like, you got a quarterback right here who has experience playing for defensive first, run first teams, and that would help you. And so this team getting a guy like Joe Flacco, game changer in my opinion. Like, I think it would open up so much more, because Joe Flacco, he's 38 at this point. He's 6'6", 245 pounds. He's thrown over 40,000 yards. He's an NFL Super Bowl MVP. He spent last year with the Jets. Before that, he spent like the last 3 years with the Jets. And it's crazy to think about that, because he grew up in Jersey. And this was crazy, because this is a guy that I think what he's been able to... What's also funny is Joe Flacco almost switched over to being a pitcher. And at this point, what would you get from him? Okay, the good size. He's not gonna, at 38 with a surgically repaired knee, he's not an athlete. But this guy's still big arm. Like, Flacco can deliver an accurate downfield throw when he has a clean pocket. To this day, that's still not a question. That's never going to be a question. That's always going to be something that he's good at, regardless of if you're a fan of his or not. That's something he's shown, that he can still be a prolific down the field passer. He's still pretty effective, although he doesn't have the juice he once did. And accuracy, he's under pressure and stuff, not the best, but he's footsteps Flacco. So that's it. Let me know your thoughts.